It's me, Renee. I'm back. So this month is June, as you probably know, and June equals Pride Month. Sorry. So earlier last week, I did a TBR for this month, which was Pride focused. So LGBTQ plus books, LGBTQ plus QIA books plus. But yeah, and then today, so today is another Pride themed video. So I've seen some people on social media doing a thing where each day they talk about something specific to a queer book. So I decided I'm going to do that, but instead of doing it daily, I'm going to do it once a week this month, and I'm going to talk about so this week there will be 5 things I'm going to talk about, and then next week there'll be 9 because I'll do the weekend, and then I'll do next week's prompts, and then etc. etc. So yeah, let's start, shall we? So the first one is, give me a moment to double check it out. Let me check it out. The first one is first queer book you remember reading. So this is honestly a bit difficult, I would say, actually. Like, I feel now at this point, I feel like I've read a lot of queer books. But then again, I suppose it depends a bit. Like, do you count books where the protagonist is gay? Is that the only queer, or can the side character who's very famous, can that be correct? And like, for example, the Shadowhunter books. There's a lot of queerness in those, but who are the protagonists in those? I suppose it depends on which book you talk about as well. So I'm not really sure in that way. I'm thinking, okay, so before I've answered this one with Will Grayson. But then I thought, like, well, there had to be something before, because I like had a sense of something that I read something with a gay or queer protagonist before that. But I think what I'm probably thinking about is probably City of Bones, which has Alex and Magnus and other people. Yeah, it also has Raphael. So I suppose it at least has 3 uh, queer characters. Though, are any of them protagonists? I'm not sure. I'm not sure you can call that. Yeah, I'm not sure you can call that book queer. So I'm going with, again, Will Grayson. So I suppose this one is kind of difficult to say it's not queer, because one of the main protagonists is queer. There's 2 protagonists. The idea is there's 2 leads, Will Grayson and Will Grayson. They have the same name, and they live 2 cities apart. They meet one day by accident. And so yeah, one of the Will Graysons is gay, and one of the friends of the other Will Grayson is gay. So there's 2 characters that are gay in this one. One is protagonist, and one is the very, very important character. How do you define protagonist, and how do you find like side characters and like sort of protagonist? Because like, if a character is not like the main point of view, but the character is still very much in the story, is that protagonist? Or I'm not sure. But anyway, I'm going with this one for the first one I've read, because it's the first one that had a protagonist, so it's quite clear, really. Anyway, it's the first one I remember having a queer protagonist. I'm thinking there might be others, but I can't think of the others. So yeah, I'm going with this. I'm going with this one. So then, next we have a queer book that reminds you of home. And honestly, I would say this one was the most difficult one, really, because even though, as I said, even though I've read quite a lot of queer books now, both books with books with characters that protagonists are gay, or the main character's best friend are gay. I've read a lot of them. The last books, I haven't read all of them. Like, I would actually say there's a lot of them I haven't read yet. But yeah, I want to try to read much more, obviously. And yeah. Uh, but yeah, finding a queer book that feels like home, it was kind of difficult, really, because I myself am not queer. So even though I really like queer books, one that feels like home. I haven't really read one that feels like home yet. I suppose maybe a queer book that's set in Norway could like feel like home, but I haven't found that. Yeah, as I'm Norwegian, I haven't found anyone like that. Or it could be a queer book maybe set in the book world. I suppose that might be it, but I still haven't found one that really like screams home to me yet. So I'm gonna do a bit of a cop out, even though like it's not wrong, but I'm going to go in. So this one slightly fits, or I would say it's the one that fits most really. So Snow in Love is an anthology collection. It has a story by Melissa Cruz, Amy Friedman, Casey West, and Nick Stone. And Nick Stone's story is queer. It's a sapphic love story, and most of it, so that way it's to this prompt of queerness and pride. And yeah, and it takes place mostly mostly in an airport. And I've traveled quite a lot, so like getting to know airports, and I've been stuck in airports for many hours and stuff like that. So like exploring an airport, it's something I quite feel comfortable with and feel like related to. So in that way, this feels like home. Like I've never like lived on an airport, but I've spent quite a lot of time in airports nowadays, now and then, a lot. So in that way, I'm gonna go with that one. So, fits ish. So yeah, it's not always that easy really to find stuff to fit. At least not for me, but I try. I will try anyway. So the next prompt is a queer book that's been on your TBR too long. So here I'm actually gonna go with a book that I don't actually still own, but I just kind of wanted to like figure out like which one has been on my TBR for longest. So I went on Google, I went on Goodreads, and um, I looked on my buy next books, and then I looked on so if any of those were no, I looked at my because I have shelves, and I looked at my LGBTQ plus shelf, and on that one there's both books I've read and books I haven't read, and one of them is give me a moment. I'm just going to find the notes. Sorry, I forgot to get it earlier before start filming. But yeah, so one of them, well, actually the one that fits the most here, it's When Audrey Met Alice by Rebecca Burns. I put it on my TBR. It was 2014, so that's like 6 years now. So yeah, definitely one that's been on the longest. I do have like some LGBTQ plus books that I haven't read their own, but all of the ones that I haven't read their own, I would say they haven't really been on my TBR for that long. So yeah, I'm gonna not count those ones. So yeah, I'm gonna link When Alice Met Audrey. I'm gonna link it in doodle, as I always do when I talk about something I can't show. And then the next one is a queer book with a name or a number and a title. And on this one, I'm going with, Juliet Takes a Breath by Gabi Riviera. So Juliet is the name, so fits perfectly. This one I actually haven't read either. So yeah, this is a mix of books I've read and have read. One Grayson I've read. I read Snow in Love. Haven't read this one or the one before I mentioned. And yeah, this one also is quite fun really because it's about Juliet. Obviously, I suppose not obviously, but kind of obviously. Um, and it's about her being a lesbian, but it's not a romance story. It's more like her identity as a lesbian and her intersectionality as being a Latinx lesbian. So it's quite interesting, really. I haven't read it yet, but really curious to get to it and hoping to get to it soon. And then we just only have one left. Yeah, one left. Queer book where the protagonist has a fun job. I suppose here you can question yourself, like, what's a fun job and how do you define that and stuff. But I end up going with How Not to Ask a Boy to Prom by S.J. Gosling. And in this one, Nolan, I was about to say Nolan, he works as a gardener in a greenhouse. So that's quite fun, really. At least I think working in a greenhouse is fun. So I'm gonna use it. And yeah, you might have noticed I didn't really talk so much today about Black Lives Matter and what's going on in the States today, or I suppose in a way in the world, because racism is not something that's happening only in US. But yeah, even though I didn't talk about it, I'm still gonna keep on having references, having links to places where you can help, places where you can donate. I'm gonna also go do links to Etsy stores that are Black owned. I'm gonna do links to Black bookstores, all those prudent links, and hopefully you'll check them out. And yeah, so I hope you have a nice weekend. I hope you stay safe and stay educated, and I'll talk to you later.